Good morning, y'all. I'm cooking lunch. In this pot right here, I have some fresh squash that I listen at me. Cut the ends off of it and cut it in big hunks. And I'm cooking that for a squash Alabama. It's in your recipe book. Then right here, I've got fresh green beans. All I did on these was I just pulled off the ends of them, or just one end of them actually, just that stem end. I'm gonna just boil those with some good bacon grease and have that for lunch. I got company coming, so I'm kind of doing several things at once. And I got my hair washed, but I pulled it up on top of my head so it'd be kind of out of my way while I'm doing this, and then I'll fix it later. This bacon that I've got today is the thicker cut, so I think 2 pieces in our beans will be perfect, don't you? I'm gonna put them in right there. Let all those good flavors go down in to our fresh green beans. Don't y'all love fresh green beans? I do. I'm telling you, George and I used to plant them in the garden, and we had, this is a big old Vidalia onion, in case y'all wondered. Oh no, it's messed up inside. I'll have to cut out part of it. I cannot believe that. Let me see what we got left. I'm going to use what I can. I'll just cut this whole part out right there. I'm going to put this in my squash. I'm going to saute it. I've got a half a stick of butter in my skillet over here. Anyway, what I was saying is we used to grow the kind of green beans that they ran on sticks. In other words, George fixed some things up like this in the garden, and that's what we planted our beans on. Well, at least I'm saving a little bit of this onion, I'm telling you that. Oh, we don't want to waste it, that's for sure. Groceries are too high. I absolutely cannot believe how high they are. Oh my goodness. And it's not like it's at one place, it's every place. I mean, it is everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to saute these real easy because I don't want them brown. I just want them soft and tender. Uh-oh. I could throw that on my eye. That's all I want. It's just soft and tender. Now I'm cutting a little bit of red pepper to go in it. You can put red or green. But the last time I made it, I didn't have any green. And I used the red, and you know what? It tastes really good in there like that. This is called Squash Alabama. Squash Alabama. I'm going to put this in my onions and just get them just kind of tenderish. And while my onions are sauteed, I'm going to saute my peppers at the same time. We're supposed to get a big rain today. It isn't here yet, but it's cloudy outside and gray, so I'm figuring it's coming any minute. I heard that Ohio had some really bad weather yesterday and a lot of damage. I think they said it was tornadoes that came in to Ohio. Oh, sad. I'm telling you, we can't do a thing about the weather, though. There we go. All right, let's go to the next step. Okay, I've got my squash drained. They're tender and they're drained. So now I'm going to pour this onions and peppers in my skillet, in my squash, and I'm going to make sure that all that butter that's in there gets down there in the squash also. In other words, don't drain this. You want all that onion juice, and you want your butter and your pepper juice. So get it all in there. Every little drop. Set this over to the side until you get a chance you can wash it. We're going to add more stuff, but right now we're just taking our time and we're just getting it all mixed together here. Let those flavors get all in there. All right, let's set this aside. I'm going to do something else now and get it ready. Okay, y'all, now we're going to make our dessert. I'm going to make this fudge pie right here. It's the chocolate fudge pie in my first recipe book. It's so easy, y'all. It is so easy. All I've got in this pan is 1/4 cup of your cocoa. Y'all know what cocoa is, don't you? Your chocolate cocoa mix stuff. Cocoa. And 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This is White Lily all-purpose. So I've got 1/4 cup of my cocoa and 1/4 cup of White Lily flour. All right, to that, I'm going to add a stick of butter. It's so easy. It's so easy. I've been doing this. Well, first of all, you want to mix up your cocoa and your flour. Do that first. And you don't want to pour all your butter into at one time. You want to pour a little bit at a time, just a little bit, because you want to wet that cocoa. Look at that pan going around and around this morning. It's kind of how I feel. This is going to cook on 325. It cooks on a really low temp for a long time, about 40 to 45 minutes. But it's a chocolate fudge brownie pie. And it is rich and it is good. All right, now we're going to add a cup of sugar. Mix that around. And then we're going to add us some vanilla. 1 teaspoon. See, you can just do this literally in a pan. In a bowl. You don't have to get out your mixer. It's got very simple ingredients. You're not going to need to go to the store. You probably got everything you need. Right. Look at that. I hadn't even opened that one yet. Let me get that thing open. Y'all ever do this? I do. Make sure I got my teaspoon. I do. You probably got everything you need right now to make this pie. And if you don't have a pie crust, you could make one. I've got the bought one today. I've got the bought one. All right, so we've got a teaspoon of vanilla. See how rich it's already looking in there. All right, now we're going to add our last ingredient, which is 2 eggs beaten. Then I fix to pop it in the oven and forget it. And I've got a gallon of ice cream out there in the freezer. Listen, the recipe calls for pecans if you like it like that. I'm not putting it in today. Okay, let's put that in there. We're going to stir that around real good. Then we're going to put it in our pie crust. And we're going to do something else for 45 minutes while it's cooking. 40 to 45 minutes. See, now wasn't that easy? Look, y'all, I'm telling you. Oh, this is really a good recipe. Real good. And some of you have already tried it. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. All right, there it is. There's your mix. You've got everything you need today. You've got every single thing you need unless it's a pie crust. And you can make you a homemade one. Everybody likes chocolate. So when my company gets here, actually I hadn't told y'all who my company is, have I? It's my granddaughter Isabella, and she's bringing a few friends with her. Little girlfriends. And she said, Big Mama, will you cook us some lunch? I said, I surely will. Come on. So they're coming. And Isabella likes vegetables. I don't know whether the other girls do, but I'm cooking vegetables. Those squash and stuff. Beans. All right, let's put this in our oven. So we got our pie going. We got our dessert made. All right, let's see what else we can get into. Okay, we've got our beans cooking over here. We've got our squash ready to put in the casserole. I've got to make some y'all sweet tea. So I've got my water heating up over here for that. We're going to get that done. And now I'm going to get my roast on and we'll put it in with the pie. So this is a Boston butt. It's a pork roast. You've got a fat side, whoop, and the rest of it's a lean side, okay? And so I fixed to really put some goodie on it. We're gonna put some goodie on it. All right, here we go. We're gonna put some salt, and I'm gonna rub it in real good. And pepper. These are so easy to do, y'all. And rub that in real good into your meat. Rub it in. I'm going to put my fat side down. There's enough fat in this that I don't need to be eating all that fat, so I'm going to put it down at the bottom and it'll just be on the fat side. All right, now we're going to take our foil and we're going to wrap it up lightly like this. And I'm going to put it in the oven on 325 with that pie. But as soon as that pie comes out, I'm going to turn this up and we'll cook it a little longer. All right, our water's really hot for our tea. And so we're going to just drop a whole gallon bag thing in there. I'm going to cover it with that's the last for that. I'm going to cover it with this. We're going to let it sit now for 9 minutes. But anyway, there's an empty bag. Y'all want it? I'm going to throw this away. All right. So anyway, so we got all that going. We're coming right along for our guest, aren't we? Okay, I've got my ice in my pitcher and got my tea steeping for 9 minutes. And while that's doing that, let's do this. Go back to your squash. See, when you're cooking for a crowd, this is processed cheese. That's probably a cup, maybe a cup and a half, something like that. Just cut it off little bitty pieces like that. Anyway, when you're cooking in here, you got to have a lot of stuff going at the same time. That's why my beans are cooking, my meat's in the oven. We made our pie, it's in the oven. And now we're kind of continuing on with our little casserole here, our squash Alabama, while our tea is steeping. So you gotta get it all going at one time. That's what you gotta do. And we're willing and able, aren't we? I just cooked this the other day. And Bae, she's going to come over too. And she said, Big Mom, would you cook that squash Alabama again? I'm telling y'all, these young people love it. And I'm thankful for all the young people that are following me. We're getting a really big crowd of young people. So y'all keep on watching, young people. Big Mom's going to teach you how to cook. If you don't know how, we're going to learn how. All right, I'm going to let that. The squash are still kind of warm, so that cheese should be kind of wanting to melt in there a little bit. All right, let's look at our time. We're not quite there. Let it sit just another minute or two. I'm going to make sweet tea today. I normally drink it unsweet, but with these girls coming, they're going to want sweet, I'm sure. We're also going to have some sliced tomatoes, but I don't want to slice them yet because it's too early. It's too early. I don't want them to sit out a long time sliced. But let me say this about the tomatoes. I'm sure these are grown in a hothouse or they're not from around here because we ain't even got our tomato plants in the ground yet. But I hope these will be tasty. You never know this time of year whether they will or whether they won't. But we're going to sure give it a good, honest try. Okay, it's been 9 minutes, so take your top off of your tea. And I've got ice in the bottom of my pitcher like it said to do, and we're going to pour our tea in over that ice. So that's what does it the good. That's what's going to make it good. Just push that down a little, get all the goodie out. All right, let's put in. I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of sugar today. Some people put in 2, some people put in 1, some people put in none, but I'm going to put 1.5 cups. We're going to stir that around. This is a gallon pitcher, so I'm fixing to fill the rest of it up with water. And we'll be done with our tea. Okay, we're going to take our squash now. And listen, I didn't think I had enough of that processed cheese, but that was all I had. So I put a half a thing of cream cheese in here. Now, if you've got all of it you need, well, that's great. I just didn't have it. And I'm not going to the grocery store. So you want to put your salt and pepper on here, and because I didn't salt my squash. When I boiled them to get them tender, you want a good little bit of pepper, and then put you some salt on it. You're going to need that. All right, we'll just let it sit here. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Let's get our pie out. And you know, I told you I was going to turn my meat up when we did. So I'm going to turn this meat up to 400. It stayed in there for probably 30 or 40 minutes, about as long as the pie did. And then, all right, let me see. All right, we're going to turn it up to 400 now so it can go ahead and start cooking a little bit heavier. All right, here's our pie. Let me hold it with both hands. I surely don't want to drop it. There's our pie. It is a really good pie. Simple ingredients. And I'm going to cut this. And while it's still it'll be room temperature, kind of warm, I'm going to put ice cream on top. Now, y'all do not have to refrigerate this. When you make this pie, you just leave it out. But the problem with leaving it out is that every time somebody walks by, every single time they walk by, including myself, we'll cut us a little slice. That's just the way it is, isn't it? So dinner's coming along, y'all. It's coming along. We got the meat in the oven. Our pie's made. Our tea is made. I just took our beans up a while ago, put them in this bowl. I've got a plate sitting on top of it to keep it warm. Our squash is coming along. It's just not time yet to add the rest of the ingredients. We're just kind of doing it in stages. Okay, sweet people, we're coming along with this lunch. I hope these college girls like this. I'm going to tell you. All right, here's our squash right here, and we've only got just a little bit more. We're going to be done with it. It wasn't hard at all. It's just a lot of steps. You take 2 eggs, which I don't have out. Let me get those. Sorry. I meant to be organized, but obviously I'm not. But I meant to be. You're going to beat them up before you put them in there. You're just going to do that so it'll be all mixed in. What your eggs do is it holds your squash Alabama together and makes it set up, okay? A while ago, while y'all was not on here, I went outside on the front porch and sat down to look at my phone to see if y'all had watched and commented on a few things. I commented, I was looking at that one that I put on with my kitchen window, and y'all showed me your beautiful windows. Oh, they're so beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Aren't you happy you've got them? All right, pour this in your squash, and this is just going to hold it together. That's all it's for. It's not for taste or anything. It's for your texture. Mix that up. We're fixing to pour it in a big casserole dish, and you do not have to grease that dish either. It's going to be fine, just like it is. And all this has got to do is get hot, because everything in it is done, except the eggs. And when it gets hot, your eggs will be done. I'm going to put it in this big old green casserole today that I've got. It's a nice big one. And just put it in there. Get it all out real good. Spread it around. Like that. And now we're going to put a cracker crumb topping on it. And we'll get that ready. And all you do on this on your cracker crumbs is I've got some of these. And you're going to crush these up good. Boy, my apron surely doesn't match my shirt today, does it? I look like this is tacky day. It'll look better when I get my apron off, you know, because it really doesn't match what I've got on today. All right, this is done. Open it up now here. We're going to crumble this on the top, and this makes it really super good, y'all. Okay, there's our crackers. And I have melted a half a stick of butter to go on top of that. Mix it up just a little bit. Yes, I'm going to have to sweep after I get this done. And we're going to put it on our casserole. And it will absolutely be delicious. This is your squash Alabama, is what this is called. And if you've not tried it, you certainly need to. But I bought fresh squash and cut them up and boiled them. The other day when I made it, I had frozen squash. But the squash are beginning to come in now, so I went to a market and got them. Make sure you get crackers on every bite, because you don't want one person to get crackers and the next person goes in there and they don't get any. All right, you're going to cook this for about, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe 35. All you want it to do is get hot and bubbly, and that is it. When it gets hot and bubbly, your eggs are done, so it's done. Don't overcook it or it'll be too dry. So I'm not going to put it on right now because it's not time to. All right, we're coming along, coming along.